Gary Lackmann, and my official title is professor, and I work at North Carolina State University. A typical day is hard to define for me because they're very different depending on the time of year, what classes I'm teaching, and what's going on. But in the summer, when I'm not teaching classes, then I'm much more doing research. I'll come in and meet with graduate students, work on the research that I'm doing, and it's a more relaxed and more flexible, open-ended kind of a work day. During the school year, when I'm teaching classes, I usually teach 1 or 2 classes a semester, and that may not seem like much, but there's a lot of preparation behind every lecture. And so then I'm much more focused on preparing lectures, trying to make up and grade assignments, meet with students, and I'm less focused on research and more focused on teaching. There's a lot of things that I really like about the job. I like not having people look over my shoulder. I like the flexibility to study whatever it is that I want to study. I like working with students. I like helping students in their careers. I like offering advice and seeing our students graduate and achieve great things. And so there's a lot of things that I like about the job, and a lot of different things that fit well with me. The dislikes are that it's very stressful. It takes more than 40 hours a week. It's more of a 80-hour-a-week type job a lot of the time, especially when I'm teaching classes. So the stress I could do without. I could also do without some of the administrative aspects. There's paperwork. There's various committee work that isn't quite as enjoyable as the other things that I mentioned that I like about the job. Well, first of all, get ready to work hard. I would advise them. I mean, you have to have a doctoral degree, and if you wanted a job just like the one I have, probably you'd want to job shadow me for a little while and see. And you might, in fact, I've been a little disappointed that some of my graduate students haven't wanted to follow in my footsteps because they say, I don't want to work as hard as you do. It is sort of a 24/7 type of thing, and that makes it difficult to balance family and life outside of work issues with the work. It's a very consuming occupation, but if you love it, then it's the best job in the world because, like I said, you have no one looking over your shoulder, micromanaging you. You have complete freedom as long as you're doing your job and doing good work. So, I would say if you enjoy interacting with students and helping people and teaching, then it's a great career. But if you're not willing to work really hard, it might not be the best option. There's also, at four-year teaching colleges, there's teaching positions that involve more teaching but less research expectations, and that's the type of position I had before I came to NC State, and it was less stressful. It was still a lot of work, but that was really focused on teaching, whereas here there's an expectation for research as well as teaching. That adds another level of stress. Right now, my research is in several different areas, and none of them are the areas that I originally started out doing research in. I'm doing work with hurricanes. I'm doing work with hurricanes related to climate change. I'm doing work on forecasting hurricanes and their impacts on North Carolina. And I'm also doing some work with extratropical cyclones, the high and low pressure systems in the mid-latitudes, and also looking at how those might be affected by climate change. So originally my research was more focused on extratropical cyclones and winter weather, winter storms, things like that, and how to forecast them better. but lately I've been getting more into the tropical side of things. For the career path that I've chosen, there's things are always changing in education. I mean, there's again a multifaceted answer to that question. In terms of education, you see a lot of emerging technology like distance education and decentralized universities, and so in the 10 to 30 year time frame, the traditional university might in some ways start to go away and be replaced by more of a virtual university. In terms of the field of atmospheric science, there's tremendous changes underway. The types of jobs that students get when they graduate have changed and are continuing to change. And there's a lot more diversity. There's a lot less of the traditional National Weather Service forecasting type positions, and a lot of our students go on and just do very different things. And so those are the changes that have already been happening, and I'm sure those changes will continue and probably accelerate based on what I've seen lately. But certainly technology and observing and numerical modeling systems have really changed the way we do business, and that in a way changes how we forecast the weather and how we communicate the weather information to the public and to emergency managers. I appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit about my job, and I think it's a great and rewarding job, and I would encourage anyone who's interested in teaching and teaching atmospheric science to consider doing that. Even if you don't become a university professor, there's lots of ways to teach, to go to schools and just get young people to be more interested and more knowledgeable regarding the weather. So there's a lot of opportunities, and it's rewarding if you get involved with that type of activity. And thanks for listening.